Have you ever had that one person you see all over town, like everywhere you look? You don't give them too much attention, but you can't resist acknowledging them. Hell, after a while, you may potentially fall in love with them. No? Just me?
Yeah, that brother's starving.
Well, anyway, that's how I feel about one of my favorite witches in Marvel Comics, Nico Minoru. See, Nico isn't just another Marvel witch. She is goated in every form of the word. She first appeared in a comic series titled The Runaways that came out in 2003. See, Nico's journey has taken her from reluctant hero to team leader, from heartbreak to self-discovery, and even had her ascend the rankings of Marvel's most powerful magic users. She's popped up in multiple times in different Marvel projects, from the Runaways freeform series that, debuted on TV, to the Midnight Suns video game that I personally have loved playing through recently, and even the new Spider-Man series that debuted on Disney+. Nico remains one of my personal favorite characters I've been introduced to as a Marvel fan, but what really makes her special? Let's break that down.
You're now watching The Captain.
See, Nico's early childhood wasn't really as problematic as you would think. She was a suburban kid who grew up with parents who were financially well off and had them living in a more affluent part of the West Coast. See, Nico's life was forever changed when she discovered that her parents were doing some weird shit, man. They were a part of this group called the Pride, which was this secret cabal of evil villains doing diabolical shit. Every year they would gather up and bring all the kids with them for whatever reason and have this secret meeting where they would discuss all the dastardly shit they would do. See, one night though, Nico, as well as the other members of the Runaways, decided to spy in on their family to see what they were doing, because again, for years you've been brought to this one house and told to, hey, stay in the kids' place and play around and leave us the hell alone. Well, after a while, kids get curious. And after sneaking into a room and seeing what they were doing, they discovered that the parents that they have are evil as fuck. And evil to the extent to where they are murdering people, murdered a young girl right in front of them. And murdering somebody isn't just the only things they dibble and dabbled in. See, the Pride was this group of people that did a lot of evil shit. They were involved in crime in every fashion of the words you can think of. Drugs, guns, dark magic, illegal alien technology. They had their hands in it all. Nico's parents, though, specifically, were responsible for the more dark magic flavor of the evil things. See, Nico's mother belongs to a lineage of blood witches tracking back to her grandmother, the Witchbreaker, who was one of the strongest witches in Marvel Comics to ever exist. And Nico, being her daughter, obviously shares that same lineage. See, in issue number 4 of the 2003 Runaways series, after finding out that their kids know that they're part of the suburban Legion of Doom, Nico's parents snap, and her mother especially, without hesitation, tries to do her best Omni-Man impression and stab Nico dead through the chest with the staff of one. But instead of dying, something incredible happened. The staff was absorbed into Nico's body, and the funny thing is, it happened so fast that Nico didn't even realize that her mom was trying to make her wear a Jiraiya cosplay. A great thing though about this staff bonding to her was that it gave Nico the ability to perform blood magic. This blood magic gives her the ability to do damn near anything. The Staff of One grants her crazy magical abilities, but it has its strict limitations. Each spell can only be cast once. But because the staff is damn near idiot-proof, it really doesn't require a lot to cast a spell. She has a lot of versatility in this because she can do things just like saying the word fire or water, and a spell forms from out of thin air with those properties. This gives her an endless versatility whenever she's in combat. And this is only enhanced by her combat acumen and her, ability to think. This is kind of showcased by the factor of she found a way to get over the one spell rule. I think she realized at some point that she was able to say a word in a different language and that would count as the same word as before. This led to her learning multiple languages and showcasing just how intelligent she really is. And see, her powers, in my opinion, really match the journey that she goes on as a character within the comics. Her journey is one of both magic and suffering. Every spell she uses is a sacrifice because she's essentially giving up being able to use a word as a spell forever whenever she uses it. And I think this kind of just matches her as a character. Hell, even her being able to remove the staff from her body to actually use the staff, she has to have a blood sacrifice. She has to cut her hand open, kind of similar to what people in Naruto would do in order to make a summoning for a great ape or animal or toad or whatever it may be. That's how it's done. Outside of her being a talented magic user, she's bewitched the hearts of a few people within her history in the comic books. That being said, the relationships she forms aren't always the most stable and usually end pretty tragically. The three most notable people that she's bewitched and have relationships with have been her three runaway teammates, Alex Wilder, Carolina, and I think Chase. See, Alex was her first love, a generational strategist and the first leader of the team who ultimately betrayed the Runaways, and that kind of ended their romance there. And at one point, he dies. Their romance was one that was teased from the beginning of the very first issue, and it was honestly pretty cute to see come together. This is honestly where I kind of want to take a second to pause in talking about Nico and recommend that you guys really do check out this series from 2003. I love the Runaways comics, and it's a dope coming of age story that includes Nico and has a colorful cast of different kids. I always enjoy stories where kids have the ability or have the need to grow up fast and test just how capable they are. Shows like Young Justice or Teen Titans are perfect examples of what I mean when I say this. You see the Runaways grow more confident in themselves, and seeing their dynamic as a family kind of grow was really beautiful to see. The books even tackle difficult topics to address, like a young woman in Nico dealing with her conflicting feelings on her sexuality. When Carolina, a different member of the team, the Starfire-esque member of the team, confessed to be in love with Nico, Nico really didn't know how to feel and had difficulty sorting through her feelings. Eventually, Carolina had to leave for the planet for this arranged marriage thing she had going on, and it was kind of sad because Nico didn't really get to sit in that relationship for very long. Subject matter being this dark and being tackled in this way is so surprising to me because traditionally you think at some point Nico or anyone on the team would get a happy ending. But the entire team, for the most part throughout the run that I read, had to deal with the reality that things don't always go your way, but you go through the struggle and strife with the family that you have. And what's even more beautiful is that it's not just the family that they were born into, because you see that didn't really end well because they all end up being murderers, but it's a lot of emphasis being put on the family that you choose and showing that the support system you build around yourself can be very important and damn near the pillar of what makes you a good person and helps you develop into being a better person going forward. Although she's known as the leader of the Runaways predominantly, Nico has briefly fought alongside some of Marvel's biggest teams. She served on a team called the A-Force, which was an all-woman Avengers team, proving that she can really hang with some of the big dogs in Marvel Comics. Characters like the She-Hulk or Captain Marvel and even Medusa, the queen of the Inhumans, are all people that Nico got to stand shoulder to shoulder with on his team. And despite all the new friends she made, Nico usually always finds herself drawn back to her Runaways family, proving that for her, the found family is stronger than any team roster that she was ever be able to put on. Nico Minoru's story isn't just about being the strongest magic user out there, it's about resilience. She's been betrayed, abandoned, tortured, and even killed, only to be resurrected by her own magic at one point. She's literally been through a struggle on par with characters like Spider-Man or Daredevil. She's constantly having to reinvent herself, constantly having to adapt to new challenges and pushing forward despite the weight of her past. And that is what makes her special in my opinion. And that's what I love about her. Now that you know how dope she is, hopefully it excites you that she is a key supporting character in the brand new Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man series that's on Disney Plus right now. First season was pretty dope. I think it has a lot of dope things to come because Nico didn't really get to showcase her magical abilities. The moment I saw her though, in the first episode, I was looking for any inclination that she is magically gifted, like her common counterpart. We saw a few moments throughout the season, but again, like I said, for the most part, we didn't really get to see her do anything crazy out of sorts, but it feels like they're setting up her having a significant role in the show going forward, more specifically having to do with her magical abilities, especially with the factor that we have characters like a Doctor Strange around who is magically gifted that, could be a part of helping her build out those talents. We're not getting the Pride backstory that we see from the Runaways, but I'm so interested to see where they take this character. She may come across antisocial in different aspects or different moments of her comic book history or even in a video game that you see here in Midnight Suns, but for the most part, one talent that she has outside of just being resilient and developing herself further is her ability to make friends and family, because she seems to be a pretty good judge of character from what I've noticed. Me reading through a lot of the Runaways and me playing with her in this video game of Marvel Rivals and just getting a knowledge of this character throughout my time of being a Marvel fan, she's always stood out to me because of her uniqueness in her look, her uniqueness in how she interacts with people, and her uniqueness in being a leader. I feel like you're used to seeing characters like a Captain America or a Storm be a leader in the more traditional sense in regards to being the person that leads by example and being the big, strong symbol that everybody can rally behind. But a leader like Nico is someone that I feel like I more want to be like when I'm a leader in any other facet of my job, my career on here on YouTube, or just any point in my life, because it's one that is really focused on knowing how the people around you and the people that you serve operate and what they need to be great. She is really good at being an empathetic person and knowing her team and making sure that her team is running like a well-oiled machine from a tactical standpoint out there in the field, and outside of that, just an internal standpoint as far as being a person. You've seen her do things like adopt different members of her team because they weren't being loved in the way that they needed to be at home. You've seen her throw birthday parties for different people of her family because they weren't really able to have such a thing with their traditional family because, you know, they're evil. These little things are, I think, are what make Nico such a beautiful person and a beautiful character that be written and created. And, you know, I'm really excited that she's a thing, and I'm really excited to see her get more of a role and more stuff going forward. Why I focus on Nico, because like I mentioned before on this channel, that I'm really big on representation and showcasing that in the different characters that I like to discuss and cover in some of the different shows as well. Although I've covered a bunch of different Black characters like a Static, like a Jon Stewart, and, you know, at some point an Afro Samurai, that's coming, look out for that. I feel like I never look at characters from different cultures that aren't my own. So seeing a Japanese woman in the Marvel comics that has such a profound history and a lot of depth in her writing, I felt like it was only right to bring her to the forefront of my audience. And, you know, hopefully as I grow and my audience grows, that she'll get more love and more people be knowing to how beautiful she is, the character. So again, if you didn't know about Nico Minoru before this video, let me know in the comment section below if you did know and maybe just didn't know about a lot of the different things that she was involved in, or let me know that in the comment section below as well. Again, this has been Captain Diesel of Captain Diesel's Dojo. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for your time. And again, be good people, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.